talk us through how the conversation went on deciding to do both duels this weekend.
It was wrestling in both duels. That's something that I wanted to do from the start. In today's age of wrestling, there's a lot of ducking. There's a lot of just not competing every opportunity you have, and that's just that's not me. I want to compete as much as I possibly can, and why not compete on the biggest stage? It's a once in a lifetime opportunity to be able to represent my university and my country all in a couple hours apart. So it's I'm just excited to go out there and compete and make Oklahoma State and the United States proud.
Coach talked about the fact that the challenges of the two don't necessarily bother you, but what are some of the challenges, whether it's weight related, style related, that you'll face on Saturday?
The match will be probably going to take place before the weigh-in first match. So I'll be down to weight for I wouldn't have made weight for the Iowa Bowl yet, so I'll still be down to weight. So that's you might say it's a challenge, but I usually wrestle for 30 minutes before weigh-ins anyways, just to get the last couple pound, the last pound and a half off. So it's not much of a difference for me. I think it'll be good for me to it'll be like getting a warm-up match in, getting a blow in before I even wrestle. My main focus of the weekend. Obviously the main focus for me is going and competing against Iowa and winning that match.
What about style for just the average fan that maybe doesn't realize the difference between freestyle and folk?
There's obviously differences in the two styles. For me, I've always preferred wrestling freestyle, so it's a lot easier for me to transition back to freestyle and getting on top of somebody and working for my turns and really score a lot of points really fast. That's what I like to do in freestyle, and I think it plays into my style of wrestling a lot better.
I don't know what you're like in the room. I mean, you don't seem like a big yeller and cheer guy, kind of a leader by example. But this week, with it being Iowa and as big a stage as this has been made out to be, how much do you try and let the other guys know about? There's one thing, Bedlam's one thing. OSU Iowa is a completely different animal.
Yeah, it's the biggest rivalry in all sports really. It's two really historic programs, and I have conversations with individuals. It's time to go. It's a big match, and we're in a position where we might be shorthanded a little bit, but we're still in the position where we can win the duel. There's no doubt about that in my mind, and I don't think anybody else on the team's mind. We can still win this duel, and we just have to go do our jobs. It's not going to be easy by any means, but if we go out there and we wrestle to our full potential, then we're going to be right there.
You're facing Austin DeSanto. As of right now, your highest ranked opponent you've seen this year. You've wrestled him before. He's got a little bit of a character to him. He was really, really active in his match against RBY earlier this year. Is the prep any different for going up against a guy who is contending for a title versus say a guy who's maybe in the top 20 or in the 30s? What's it like just going up against that high caliber of an opponent this season?
This is obviously it's my highest ranked opponent of the year. But my preparation leading up to it, it's really there's not much difference. I'm always focused on what I need to do rather than what my opponent's going to do. And it's if you watch Austin DeSanto wrestle, it's what he's going to do. He's going to come forward for 7 minutes. He's going to be aggressive, and he's going to be in your face the whole time. And I've wrestled him twice, so I know what that feels like, and now I'm prepared for it.
You mentioned a couple weeks ago that finding a way to attack when guys are constantly running for you. How nice is it going to be to see a change of pace of somebody actually pushing for you this weekend?
Yeah, that's something that I'm actually looking forward to. It's going to be pretty much the exact opposite. Some people try to stay away, but he's definitely not going to stay away. He's going to be coming forward the whole time, and hopefully hopefully that, allows me to, see some more scoring opportunities.
Obviously, the home duel against Iowa a couple years ago, people are already bringing back the famous photo of you locking up DeSanto. What do you remember from that duel? Obviously, there was a big match right before yours as well, but what do you remember of that and being a part of this rivalry?
I remember, coming out of the locker room, we had no idea how many people were in the gallery. It's sold out, and we were just kind of, getting ready in the room, and then we come out, and it's a packed house, and it was, just the environment was unlike anything that I've ever been a part of. And, the match, it was a close match. He went down in the third period, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna ride him for at least a minute, and if not, I got half to ride for a minute, getting that right time for it. And then I was on top for a minute and a half, and I was like, well, I might as well finish it out and finish the match on top. And that's what I did. It's not easy to ride someone like that for 2 minutes, and that's something that I didn't do in our match last time. I didn't ride at all. So it's something that I've been doing a really good job of this year, I think, of getting back to my riding and holding guys down and actually making them work to escape rather than just let them up.
Do you remember feeling his emotion, frustration during that ride?
Yeah. Whenever I had my legs in, I remember he was getting pretty frustrated, and I would be too in that situation. It's not easy, but it's you kind of got to put that match to the past though. It was 3 years ago, and I know that I'm a lot different wrestler than I was 3 years ago. I'm sure he is too.
I'm sure you heard me ask this question to Coach Smith, but with women's wrestling, Iowa just got a team and the first signed and U.S. Olympic women's is also going to be there. What are your thoughts on the growing program?
It's awesome that women's wrestling is becoming a part of Division I athletics. It's something that I'm hoping that Oklahoma State that will have a program someday, and I know that that's a lot of people's wishes, and I'm sure that we're gonna do everything possible to make that happen.
Daton, obviously, getting to wrestle for not only Oklahoma State but for the United States. I mean, what's kind of going through your head just leading up to this moment?
I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the opportunities, and it's all, thank to God. He's given me so many opportunities, and I get to do what I love every day. I get to represent my country and my university, and there's nothing more that I love than my country and Oklahoma State University. I've been an Oklahoma State Cowboy for as long as I can remember. So, being able to represent them on the biggest stage, it's everything I could ask for.
Is there any difference in your preparation now that you're having to face a new international opponent?
Not necessarily. It's freestyle. It's kind of the style. Like I said before, it's the style I prefer. So it's looking forward to wrestling another freestyle match. It's always fun when I get to go out there and do the style that I prefer.
Are you kind of looking to send a, so to say, a message in these bouts upcoming this week?
Every time I go out there to wrestle, I'm trying to send a message. I want to send a message to everybody in the country, and I want to put on a show for the crowd. There's gonna be a lot of people there, so I want to represent Oklahoma State University to the best of my ability.
Right, and a couple more. So you obviously with events like this, grapple at the gridiron back in 2015, events like this coming up, increase in neutral site revenues. Do you think college wrestling is reaching its peak?
I think it's definitely on its way up. It's events like this. It's great for the sport of wrestling. It's anytime you can get that many eyes on one single duel, it's just going to help the sport. It's I hope that hopefully more schools. Us in Iowa we did the one on the gridiron, and we're doing this one. So hopefully some other schools start to come together and start doing more big events like this.
How do you anticipate yourself spending Valentine's Day on Monday?
Well, hopefully with the win. wins. And I'll get my girlfriend some chocolate and some flowers.
Daton, John didn't want to touch it, but from a wrestler standpoint, what's it like watching these two coaching staffs, OSU and Iowa, go at it? Because it feels like they're heated in the corners just as much as they are on the mat with the wrestlers.
Yeah, definitely. They, when the match is going on, they don't really like each other. Yeah, they're saying some things that I probably shouldn't repeat to the cameras, but they're, I mean, they both want the same thing. You know, we both want to win. And I think that just shows, you know, that's why it's so intense. You know, they both want to win as bad as you can want to win, and you know, you just got to respect that level of want. You know, it's you don't see that in every coach in the country. And, you know, with these two particular universities, you see that. You know, and it's you just got to respect it.
If you were wanted to see them both of the head coaches just go back on the mat and duel it out again, obviously they have a history on the mat already.
Yeah, I think we saw how it went whenever it happened, so I don't think we need to see it again.
For more information, you can visit tulsaworld.com.